In a way, I mean, my mom is and was a sportswear designer, more like Helly Hansen and Nike and things like that. So she always had like Vogue and Harper's Bazaar and Women's Wear Daily around, and I used to look at them. I remember flying to Hong Kong with her actually in 1997, and she doesn't have time to read them because she'd be so busy, so she'd fill these big like shopping bags with them, bring them on the airplane for the long flight, and she'd then hand them to me, and I'd go through them looking for like pretty girls, right? Like, and then I started to get interested in it a little bit, but mostly just because, hot girls. And then I moved to Paris and kind of saw that aesthetic, and it became a little bit more inspiring, and I think that's kind of what really solidified it for me. But I mean, I've always been kind of a consumer as well, or very much a consumer. So I think that it's a industry that has a lot of novelty. Like obviously now with like eight collections a year or drops or things like that, like there's always something new. So I think it's easy to remain excited by it, I guess. I mean, just the sheer number of photographers more than anything. When I started, there was like the OG like Japanese crew that had been doing it for since the 80s or before. And there was Bill Cunningham and Scott and maybe like 10 other guys, or guys and girls. And now it's like, I mean, not even, it would probably be an underestimation to say that there was 500 people outside of some of these shows, 500 photographers. Like once the music starts, there's still 500 people standing around, and you're like, what the hell are we all doing here? Like, we don't belong here. No one's invited. But that's also the beauty of it. And as much as it can be annoying at times, you can't really get upset because I have no more right to be there than those people do, and that's what is so interesting about it, is literally anybody can do it. It's just a matter of doing it, right? Choosing the pictures is like, it's impossible to tell that story. I have no idea. Like my former editor and I mean, she mostly made the initial selection, then we did an approval thing together, then the entire concept of the book changed, and we went from like, it was going to be like 1,000 images to like less than 200, which I probably have taken 1.5 million photos in my time shooting. That's probably also an underestimation. And getting that down to like under 200 photos is extremely difficult. I mean, obviously I think anything that like makes fashion more accessible is important and great, except it can also go the opposite way, like with the Louis Vuitton Supreme thing, which I think is awesome, but it's also hyper expensive and kind of defeats the purpose. I don't know. I mean, I think it's interesting. I think it's cool that I can dress like how I dressed when I was in high school again, and like that's okay, versus like needing to look, not needing, but like the norm aesthetic is to like look rich, like look, like how can they afford to dress like that? Now it's kind of more like t-shirt and jeans and whatever. It kind of allows you to get rid of a lot of excess stuff, which I'm a fan of, especially being a consumer. It kind of gives me less reasons to buy things, which I like. The book is also a lot of backstage as well, I mean, and portraits, but I think streetwear is important because it has changed the landscape completely. I think it's taken the focus away from a lot of the old school houses, and unless they kind of follow suit, which I think is cool. Like it makes everybody kind of refocus, and I don't think it's going to last that much longer. I can't imagine it will. There's just too much stuff now. No one can really focus, but we'll see.